So everyone, welcome to the Spring 2024 pre-departure training session for the Nichols Humanitarian Fund. I'm really excited to be able to speak with you all today and talk a little bit about what is coming up for this upcoming summer. Congratulations again on your accomplishment on being named as a cohort member of Nichols Humanitarian Fund for this upcoming summer. Every year it is a really great experience for students as they design and implement their service. They partner with organizations every summer. And at the beginning, there's a lot of questions. And at the end, there is a lot of self-discovery that happens along the way. So I'm really excited for each of you as you begin this journey. Okay, so the first question, biggest question that we get from folks is funding. Obviously, I understand it. This is a big part of getting started on your service. So funds will be distributed to you in the coming weeks, assuming that you've completed all of your necessary steps and received all approvals. Those approvals coming from the Office of Global Safety and registering your travel with them. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the session, but these are some of the pieces that we ask that students follow before the funding is distributed. So also make sure that you contact the Office of Student Financial Aid to determine any potential impact to your financial aid specifically. That's individually tailored to all of you. So ensure that you check in, make sure everything is okay. Set up your direct deposit in YES to ensure that that funding is distributed to your student account. It has to be done in YES. For international students, please fill out your Glacier profile if you've not done so already, and then go ahead and contact the International Tax Office for any additional questions that you might have, as well as ISSS for any regulations that need to be followed for receiving funding for your service experience. Travel registry. So this is that piece that I was talking about when it comes to registering your travel to make sure that you have your funding. So at least 60 days prior to travel, you have to submit a VTRAC application with the Office of Global Safety if you're planning on traveling to a high-risk location. These locations are indicated on the Office of Global Safety's site. So please make sure that you verify and make sure that your location is not one of those locations if you were thinking about trying to travel within 60 days. So make sure that you contact OGS to have that conversation with them. And submit your VTRAC application. This is a little bit of a process, but the folks in OGS and who help to manage the VTRAC application are really welcoming, very kind, and are happy to work with students and any questions that you may have about that piece. We cannot sponsor international travel for students without first registering that travel with OGS. So if you are planning on international travel at all for your Nichols Humanitarian Fund, you must register that travel. National pieces are, different in its own way. So make sure that you register your travel for international itineraries. We cannot distribute or disperse your funding until you've been approved by this office. This is because you are conducting travel based on institutionally sponsored work. And so because of that, it has to be registered with the institution. Okay, make sure that you review the pre-departure checklist that's also provided by OGS. All of these things are on their website. So make sure that you have all the information you need, and also ensure that you are registered with the GeoBlue insurance. All students have to have GeoBlue insurance, and to bring those questions to the Office of Global Safety as well. So that way they can help with that piece. And then submit your domestic travel plan 2 weeks before, and we'll provide that for you via email. Okay, let's move into the required events for accepting the Nichols Humanitarian Fund. So the first required event is next week. We're really excited to welcome you all to the spring meet and greet. This is where you'll meet with Mr. and Mrs. Nichols, who are also very excited to meet the cohort of 2024. So on April 9th, next Tuesday, from 4:30 to 6 o'clock, we'll be in Alumni Hall. We are partnering this year with the Turnip Green Creative Reuse, who is going to help provide different tutorials for you all so you can create little blankets and other pieces for the Nashville Humane Association. So we're going to be crafting together, which is going to be really cool. And then we'll be able to donate those pieces to the Nashville Humane Association. So we're very excited about that. And it also gives you an opportunity to mingle with your fellow cohort members. We'll have some light snacks there as well. We do ask that you attend, if you cannot, for school or for any other pieces that you're committed to during that time frame. I ask that you send me an email and let me know so we can ensure that we're tracking attendance accordingly. And then the second required event that you have as a part of your acceptance to the Nichols Humanitarian Fund is to attend the fall reception. So this is a service learning showcase. Students will present on their projects that you created over the summer. And this will be a really good opportunity to show not just Mr. and Mrs. Nichols, but also different faculty and staff and other students who may be interested in the fund, what you were able to accomplish over the summer. And I also want to add, for those of you who are thinking about what Immersion Vanderbilt may mean for you, that if you secure a faculty advisor, an Immersion Vanderbilt faculty advisor, a faculty advisor is someone who has a faculty appointment at Vanderbilt. If you have a faculty advisor and they work with you on this final presentation and they indicate that this is your final project for Immersion Vanderbilt, then that's something that you can utilize. So that's just something to keep in mind for folks. Accepting the Nichols Humanitarian Fund does not mean that this needs to be a part of your Immersion Vanderbilt as your final project, but it is absolutely an option for you to think about. And if you have other questions about integrating this as a part of your Immersion Vanderbilt project, then also let me know because we'll talk about that too. Okay. The other piece about accepting the Nichols Humanitarian Fund is a couple of required check-ins that we have with you all. So everyone is required to submit 2 check-ins in the summer. It's just 2. You're more than welcome to submit multiple check-ins. We're always happy to receive them. But each one is attached with a photo or 2 or 3 or even a video. That could be cool too. But it's of you kind of giving a little bit of an insight of how you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and what you're learning as you're engaged in your service project. So we ask that you submit your first check-in at least 1 week, 2 weeks before or after your first week of service. Please adjust this time frame depending on what your project looks like for you and potentially your group. But check in at the beginning and then check in again before the conclusion. So that could be at the middle, or that could be, just before you end your service project, but we ask that you submit twice. I will send these slides out to everyone too, so that way you can see some of the examples of prior recipients. But we also have a Nichols Humanitarian Instagram. And so that's where these are going to be posted, as well as a Nichols Humanitarian Facebook group page. And so everyone can be added to the Facebook group page, and all of these images will also, and captions that you write, will be put onto the Instagram. So each submission, each check-in is 1 short paragraph, right? We're asking that you comment on 2 of your fellow recipients' posts, just to help keep the spirit of the cohort alive through the summer, because you all are conducting these projects, at relatively the same time. So it is, it can be really exciting and fun to be able to see where everyone else may be in the process. We will be providing Nichols Humanitarian t-shirts for you. You'll be able to pick those up before you leave in May. But we ask that one of these photos has you in your t-shirt, okay? The other piece about this is that we ask that you submit them via the Nichols cohort portal. I'll be sharing that website with you towards the end of our discussion, but all of the work and other additional helpful resources are placed on the Nichols cohort portal. The last piece for the Nichols Humanitarian Fund is submitting a reflection essay. So we ask that you submit your reflection essay by Monday, September 2nd. Usually it's the last day of August, but this August, I think the last day is a Saturday. So why would we do that, to you all? So go ahead and submit on the Monday, that first Monday in September. This reflection essay is posted on the website. We have a reflection booklet that is created for recipients, and that's always posted and it's archived on the Nichols Humanitarian Fund website. So we ask that it is between 500 to 800 words. You can write more if you are moved to do so, but between that range is helpful, and also submit at least one photo or more highlighting your service for the summer. And then this is a list of additional resources that we find useful for students to utilize as they prepare for their upcoming experience over the summer. So again, I'll send these slides out to you all to make sure that you have everything that you need to prepare. And if you have questions about your service or about planning and preparation, then please let me know. I am always happy to meet with students, answer emails, schedule an advising appointment to meet with you and to get you ready for what's going to be a really, really awesome summer. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing and we'll open it up for questions.